Patch 3.3 is out. It was released yesterday. One of the most exciting changes for me is right here. The drops for the Heralds, Tier 3 and above, have been improved. They can drop rares and better. Today on the War Club, we're going to see what these drops are like. I've killed 100 Heralds and recorded all the drops. We're going to show you what I found. And we're trying to answer the question, should I farm Heralds again? Is it worth it now? A big problem prior to this patch was that, besides Sunder Charms, the Heralds themselves really didn't drop much, and they could be quite difficult, so the effort didn't seem to be justified. Don't worry, we're going to look at all these drops, and I'm going to show you how I farmed these Heralds, and some other interesting drops that I got along the way. Okay, here we are. I'm actually at the end of the run, as you can see. It took me 6 hours, 14 minutes to farm 100 Heralds. This is the character I used. He's called Warlock. He is my Herald farmer. Magic damage is really good when farming Heralds, especially since we're going to stick to Acts 1 and 2. I have an awesome video on how to spawn these Heralds efficiently. Check out that video. We'll talk about all the aspects that go into farming Heralds as fast as you can. 3 minutes and 44 seconds was the average I got between Heralds to spawn these Heralds. That is quite a bit slower than some of the runs I did before, but I guess I'm out of practice. I don't know. I also died a few times. A bunch of things went wrong. It's okay. So let's look at this character. A couple important things. This is an Echoing Strike. Hex Purge build. FCR is important. And this stat right here, 373% magic find, is also important. Looking at the gear, we're doing a hybrid mix here. We're not going pure damage anymore. The drops used to be so bad that nobody used Magic Find, and now we're going to need Magic Find to get those good items from the Heralds. I am using my perfect Ariox Needle Ethereal that I found. I don't know where that video is, if you want to see where I got this drop. But this is just too tough to beat for Echoing Strike Warlock. I'm using a Shaco for the Magic Find, but I have put the Jewel in there that gets you a ton more Magic Find, even more than an Ist rune, bonus experience, and also better magic damage and negative enemy magic damage. So if we look down here, we're running pretty good. This is without the buff, of course. If we do the Defiler buff, these numbers get really good. So this is really going to hammer. Going around, Morrow's Kaleidoscope. Again, the Tier 5 Heralds are tough, man. So doing this amulet here for a little bit of survivability, using the Echoing Strike essentially offhand in Ars do Mephistos. I have an rune in here for a little bit more survivability. Use Enigma for the Magic Find, obvious choice. You're going to have that to get around. Trang's Gloves for the cold resist, and the FCR, of course. Using the Sling Ring, it comes with negative to enemy magic resistance and Magic Find. I wish I had a better one than this, but that's what we're using. Normally I would use Arachnid Mesh here for the FCR, but I found a pretty good Geed's Wager, and it comes with, this one rolled perfect with the 20 FCR, just like the Arachnid Mesh. We need that to hit that breakpoint that we're at, 75 FCR, but this also comes with a little bit of minus to enemy magic resistance, so a good belt to use. Went with the Stone of Jordan. Was having a little bit of trouble maintaining the mana, even though the Mercenary is using the Insight weapon with the Meditation Aura. So went with this, and that seemed to help that problem. I'm using War Travelers here, using my really good Geed's Fortune Charm for 40% more Magic Find. A good reason to use a Sunder Charm is for the Magic Find. This is better than 3 7% MF charms and comes with all the other benefits. The rest is all skillers to Eldritch skills. These are the best skillers that I have. This one's pretty good, but I don't have any really good ones. Nihilist, of course. All of these small charms are Magic Find with other little bonuses. Have, of course, our Hellfire Torch. Weapon swap, we do Call to Arms. For the Call to Arms buff, it's critical. More so, you just won't survive without this. Your Mercenary really needs this too. Let's take a quick peek at the Mercenary. We've got some really good stuff on him. Running Fortitude in an Ethereal Archon plate. Colossus Volge for the Insight, and Endariel's Visage with the Ral rune to keep his resistances maxed. All right, so I'm going to start the drop highlights here, and I wanted to say as these things kind of go by, the Gladius here is one of the items they recently changed. They added, what was it? The run walk they added to this? Yeah, I think so. But what I was going to say is my overall opinion of these changes to the Herald is very positive. I will give the Blizzard developers a big thumbs up here. I think they have pretty much nailed the drop rate on this. I don't think that it needs to be tuned any further at all. Got the Matriarchal Javelin here. That is, of course, T-Stroke or Thunderstroke. But yeah, my overall opinion here is this is a really good way now to farm some great items. I mean, what am I trying to say here? It adds a little bit of variety to the game that is healthy, I think. It's just another way to get good items without repeatedly having to run something like Andariel or Mephisto. I had a blast doing these runs. I'm going to show you the items that I got from the Heralds here mainly, but at the end of the video I'll show you that I got a bunch of other items just from all the monsters, and because we're clearing full terrorized zones. I really had a blast. And when I say healthy change, I mean that this is balanced enough to where you aren't getting too many items and you aren't getting too little. There's a really good item, Reaper's Toll, nice endgame item. And remember, the main purpose, I think, still for farming the Heralds is to get the Sunder Charms. Maybe your first Sunder Charm, maybe to get an upgrade. So all of this stuff that these Heralds can drop now, it's all just gravy. It's all just kind of bonus. And here I was at run 86. I didn't think I was going to get a Sunder Charm. 86 runs is a little bit unlucky. Doing the Tier 5 Heralds, you expect to get about one every 50, but 86 runs is not terribly unlucky. And with that Sunder Charm, I now have 50 Sunder Charms. And I want to shout out my website. So the War Club has a companion website now. While I take this charm back to town and renew it, let's look at the website. Okay, this is the website. It is d2rwarclub.com. It is the companion website to the YouTube channel. I will post and do lots of updates here. I'll even do some real-time updates. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Down here in this section, we have our Sunder Charm tracker. I post here every time I find a Sunder Charm. You can see which kind of Sunder Charms I get. You can click on any of these links to see them. You can get all their stats if you're interested. The other thing here is the real-time item tracker. So any item that I find is posted here in real time. So we're going to see these in just a minute, but these are the items I found today recording this video. You can get the details on this, where I found it, which character I was using to find it. In this case, Jalal's main. I found this using, of course, the War Club log just a few hours ago. All right, we're ready to gather the materials here and check out this Sunder Charm. And here we go. Okay, not the best Sunder Charm I've ever seen. Might actually be the worst one I've ever seen. This drop didn't come from a Herald. Clicked on that chest right there and got a Grand Charm. Super chest, trying to get just the last few Heralds to spawn here. Can't pick it up, means it must be a Geed's Charm. Let's identify that and see if it's any good or not. Oh, 31%, 14. Again, not very good. Okay, here's a good drop for you from the Herald. Always check for those J mods because... Oh, it's not a J mod, it's just a mod. Anyway, still pretty rare. Normally, I don't recommend doing the Arcane Sanctuary because of how many monsters there are, but if you're not trying to set any land speed records, I recommend going ahead and clearing it because it's a good source of runes. And here you can see, got a Vex rune. We'll take that all day long. All right, last drop highlight of the day. Again, from a chest. Ooh, an amulet. Let's see what we get here. All the junk I've thrown on the ground. Oh, it is Metal Grid, one of the rarest items in the game. So, anyway, I think that's the 4th Metal Grid I've got. That is one of the rarest amulets. Kind of fun. Okay. Okay, that's it for the drop highlights. Let's go back and check out the stash. This is all the stuff I got. I didn't record all these drops because most of this stuff didn't come from Heralds, but I really think that the Herald drops themselves, the way that they're improved, it really just augments this whole experience of full clears, and all of it is just bonus, including the Sunder Charms that you might get. So I was, again, really happy with the change. Found a skin of the Viper Magi, not very good at 27 all resistances. Socketed Archon Plate, very useful. Probably the best find for me of the day with this was this Ormus Robes. Came with plus 13% to cold skill damage and plus 3 to blizzard. I think that's pretty neat. Got it. Triangle Scales is a little bit rare as a Chaos Armor. So is Mavina's Embrace as a Kraken Shell. String of Ears, always good. Here's another really good highlight for the day is the Horizon's Legacy Mirrored Boots. These rolled with a perfect plus 30 to magic resistance. It is one of the only ways to get magic resistance, and this kind of offsets the penalty that offsets a little bit the penalty that you have with the renewed Black Cleft Sunder Charm. We've already seen the Jalal's Mane, a good find. Okay, Metal Grid, we just showed you that one. We showed you this cold Sunder Charm we got earlier. Found a Natalia's Shadow with 3 sockets, 4-socketed Berserker Axe. Not sure if that's really used for anything, but Ethereal kept it anyway. T-Stroke, really good drop from a Herald. Found Mavina's Caster, high-level rare item. The IK Maul, also a little bit on the rare side. Found some War Travelers, only got 39% magic find on them. I'll stick with my 48s. We showed you this. The Sacred Rondache, also pretty rare. Reaper's Toll, really good, useful find. Found an Endariel's Visage from a random monster. Not ethereal, but still very good for the Mercenary. Found Telrash's Helmet. Also good for the Mercenary, kind of a budget item. Can use it quite a bit earlier. Had a little bit of an overflow, so we're going over here to our pages full of Sunder Charms. Again, I have 50 Sunder Charms. Okay, Messerschmitt's Reaver, classic. Diablo 1 item, actually, they brought back for Diablo 2. Nosferatu's Coil. I've never really used it, but it's a little on the rare side. And then that Gee's Fortune that we just found. I ended up playing a little bit later in the day. I found a couple more items, an Ethereal 4-socketed Sacred Armor. Strength requirement's really high. Might use it, might not. But I also found a Griffin's Eye. Just super lucky random drop while I was playing a little bit later in the day. Again, this is now posted to the website because I post these things as I play. Let's see here. Not the best roll. Let's see. Lightning skill damage, you can get 15%. Negative res, that goes all up to 20. This is my third Griffin's Eye. My other 2 are socketed. One is on my Javazon. The other, of course, is on my favorite character, the Nova Sorceress. Okay, that's it for the drops for today. Thanks for watching. Let me know how those Herald farming sessions are going now. I think it's a really good change what they did, and I've just been having a lot of fun doing the Heralds again. So hit that like, hit the subscribe. I've been talking about a Pit Zerker video forever. I can't really get it to work right, so I'm not sure which video is going to come up next, but stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.